This video will show you how to design a full carcass walk-in wardrobe. So assuming you want to save this design at some point, first thing you need to do is find a client and a site for it to be linked to. Select the client you want, select the site that you want it to belong to, and then you can start the design by clicking the bedroom icon on the top navigation bar. So select full carcass walk-in robe down the bottom here. We'll start with a simple rectangular room shape. You'll need to change the wall dimensions to begin with, almost certainly. So just simply type in the new dimension, hit the return key. That will change the two walls top and bottom, and then to change the other one, similar process. Okay, now we're ready to start adding sections to the room. So select a wall, as I've done there, click on add wardrobe, and that will add in a wardrobe section to that wall. Now if we go across to the interior design area, I'll just show you how that looks and what's been added. So it's taken, put in two infills, one on either side, because this wardrobe's going wall to wall at the minute. And then the remaining space is then divided up into equal spaces, equal carcasses, in the most economic way, obviously within the maximum and minimum sizes that you'd want them to be. So here we've got three sections, so we could go ahead and design these in more detail. We'll come back to them in a second. Just to go back to the dimensions area, if we now add another wardrobe onto this left-hand wall, same deal, and if we go and look at that section, you'll see that that's been added with an infill to the wall on one side, nothing on the right because we've got the other wardrobe wall coming away towards us. And if we click on that section, the original one we added, you'll see that that's also been redrawn. No infill against the wall now because it's in the corner, but there's still an infill on the right-hand side, and the sections have been resized accordingly. Corner section gets set to automatic size, which has been set in the default settings, and then the remaining space is then divided up equally between what's left. Okay, now if we go back to the design area again, to the dimensions area, we can delete wardrobes at any point. So if we make a mistake, we can just get rid of it, and that will then revert this one back to having an infill at each end. We can also change the dimensions of individual sections or wardrobes on a particular wall. So if we want this to stop short of the end wall there, we can simply change its width to, say, 2000, hit the enter key, and we've now got a wardrobe that only partially fills that wall. If we want to put a gap to the left-hand side, maybe because there's a doorway there or an opening or some other obstruction, or we just simply, that's the way the design's meant to work. So we put a distance left in there and hit the return key. So it's now positioned that wardrobe in the centre of the wall with a space each side. And if we go to the interior design area, you'll see that's what you see. No infills because it's not against the wall, obviously. And again, the dimension that's been left has been divided up equally between the different sections. Okay, let's go back and create a new row from scratch. So same process, select the wall area. I'll leave the dimensions as they are for now because you know how to change that. So if we add a wardrobe to this top wall, I'll just stick at that again and leave that as the size it is because I want to show you how to design the internals now, how to change the interiors. So if you've already worked with iDesign and you've done sliding wardrobes or walk-in robes, you'll know the different operations you can do on the different sections. Essentially, they're exactly the same in the full carcass wardrobe. So you can click on a section and you can duplicate it, in other words, split it in two. You can change the size of any of these sections. So simply change the dimension on the right-hand side there, hit the return key, and it will resize the one you've clicked on and also the one adjacent to it to take up the difference. You can delete sections, so we can get rid of that one there, and it will resize the one to its right accordingly to take up the difference. Or we can also equalize all the sections. So if you hold down the shift key and click on all the sections you now want to be equal in size, so they're all selected, click the equalize key on the right here, and that will resize them all to the same size. Okay, now the other thing you'd obviously want to do is change the type of interiors. So if you click on a section, click on the units option on the left-hand side here, you can now change to double hanging, or we can perhaps split this in two and make this one into drawers, and that will add a drawer section in there. And then you can further customize these individual units if you need to. So if we click on the drawer section again, say we wanted two shelves at the top there rather than three, we can come over here, change that to two, click the update button, and that will change the layout of that and the components within that drawer unit. Furthermore, if we wanted to change individual elements within that, so we want perhaps to change this drawer to a shallow one as well, that's now selected in the list here. We scroll down and instead select a 156 standard drawer, so the same as the one at the very top at the minute. Click on that, click the switch option, and that will change that drawer accordingly. So you can change and edit the design to quite a fine level of detail. And once you've completed the design, obviously you can then go across to the production area and click on cut list, and there you'll see a list of all the components in that particular wardrobe split out into the various areas. To save the design, same as you would do, and I would recommend you do this as soon as you start creating it rather than now, but to save a design, click on the save option on the left hand side, name it, so my robe or carcass, and click save. And then when you go back to the client area and refresh that client, that one there, and that site, you'll now see that particular wardrobe, job, item, whatever you want to call it, linked to that site. So you'll see an increasing list of them appearing in this list here as you create the different wardrobes. Well, that completes this section. Any questions, any queries, just simply drop us an email and we'll do our best to answer it.